All right, let's dive into Charles Duhigg's incredible book, The Power of Habit. This is one of those books that really just breaks down the science behind why we do the things we do. Have you ever wondered why you just can't seem to shake a bad habit? Or, why some people just seem to reach their goals like it's no big deal? Well, the answer is hiding in the world of habits, and we're about to show you how to become the master of yours.
It's kind of funny when you stop and think about it, isn't it? So much of what we do every day feels like we're making a choice, but really, it's like we're running on a hidden script. We're being pushed and pulled by these forces we don't even notice. So just how much of our life is actually on autopilot? I think the answer's going to shock you.
Yeah, you heard that right. 40%. Research suggests a massive 40% of the things you do every single day aren't conscious decisions at all. They're habits. Just let that sink in for a second. Almost half of your life is lived on autopilot. So if that much of our life is just automated, what does that really mean for us? Well, it means that getting a handle on our habits, really understanding them, is probably the most powerful tool we have to get what we want out of life.
This is the absolute core message of the book. The life you're picturing for yourself, being healthier, more productive, maybe just happier. It's all built on the tiny little things you do every day. And the best part? You actually have the power to change them. Okay, so how do we even begin to change our habits? Well, the very first step is to get how they work in the first place. And to do that, we need to crack the code, this fundamental framework that every single one of your habits follows. It's called the habit loop.
Think of the habit loop as the secret blueprint for everything you do automatically. From something super simple like brushing your teeth to that really complex urge to check your phone every 2 minutes, they all follow this exact same 3-step process.
Every single habit has these 3 parts. First up, you've got the cue. That's the trigger, the thing that tells your brain, okay, time to go into automatic mode. Next is the routine, which is the action itself, the thing you do. And finally, you have the reward, which is what tells your brain, hey, this whole loop, it was worth it. Let's remember this for next time. Let's use an example we all know way too well, the phone habit. That little ping from a notification, that's your cue. The automatic routine is to grab your phone and open up an app. And the reward? It's that tiny hit of dopamine, that little discovery of something new, a photo, a message, whatever it is. It's a simple loop, but man, is it powerful.
But here's where it gets really interesting. It's not actually about the reward you get at the end. Over time, your brain starts to anticipate it. The second you hear that cue, that notification sound, your brain is already craving that feeling of discovery. And that craving is what makes the habit so automatic and so tough to break.
So, now that we understand the loop, how do we use this knowledge to our advantage? How do we break a bad habit? This is where the most powerful idea in the entire book comes into play. This right here is the golden rule of habit change, and it's a total game changer. You don't try to fight a bad habit head-on. You can't just delete it from your brain. Instead, you get clever. You redesign it. You transform it into something way, way better. Okay, here's how that works in the real world. Just look at this. Notice what stays exactly the same. The cue, which is feeling tired, and the reward, needing a little distraction. The only thing you're swapping out is the routine. So instead of reaching for that sugary snack, you go chat with a friend for a few minutes. You get the exact same reward, but you've replaced an unhealthy routine with a positive one. See how that works? Now, let's take this to the next level. We can use this same logic to create massive changes in our lives. Turns out there are certain habits that create this incredible ripple effect, and understanding them is really the key to unlocking your full potential. So what in the world is a keystone habit? Think of it like this. It's a core behavior that once you change it, sets off a chain reaction. It just causes other good habits to naturally fall into place. It's like that first domino that knocks over all the others without you even trying. Exercise is the perfect example of this. When people start exercising regularly, they don't just get in shape. All of a sudden, they find themselves eating healthier. They start sleeping better. They're more productive at work. It's this one single change that just cascades into a whole bunch of other positive habits. And hey, this doesn't just work for individuals. Get this. When a guy named Paul O'Neill became the CEO of Alcoa, he decided to focus on one single keystone habit, worker safety. That's it. And that one focus completely transformed the company culture and led to a 500% increase in profits. It's incredible. Now, to build these new habits, we need some willpower, right? But here's the thing you have to know about willpower. Famous studies have shown it's basically like a muscle. And just like a muscle, it gets tired.
Every decision you make, every piece of cake you resist, you're using up a tiny bit of your daily willpower.
Think of your willpower like your phone battery. You wake up in the morning with a full charge, but as the day goes on, navigating choices and challenges, that battery drains. This is exactly why it's so much harder to skip that late-night snack than it is to skip a morning donut. Your willpower is basically running on empty.
And that is why habits are the ultimate life hack. Because once a behavior becomes truly automatic, once it's a habit, it doesn't drain that battery anymore. It doesn't require willpower. You just do it, and that frees up all that mental energy for the stuff that actually matters.
So, we've cracked the code, we understand the golden rule, we know about willpower. Now, let's put this all together into a clear, simple plan to help you rewrite your own story.
Here it is, your 3-step blueprint for change. First, you have to become a detective of your own behavior. Figure out what actually triggers your habit. Second, you have to experiment a little to find out what reward your brain is really looking for. And finally, once you know those two things, you can design a new, better routine that gives you that exact same reward.
The power to change isn't about having more motivation or trying harder. It's about understanding the system. And now you have the blueprint. So the only real question left is, which habit will you start with?